got done, that was.
So we'll get, oh, definitely,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
All right.
Back.
As soon as this nice stream pops up.
Well, I don't know.
All right.
That's an awful lot.
So we will call, we still recording, Terry, on the main system?
Oh, I never changed it, but I can go look and make sure.
Nope,
it's
you're
still
fine.
there.
If you never change it, it's still
I
recording.
didn't.
So we will call the
Barb will not be
September
happy.
27th meeting, council meeting to order at 7:38. And we'll start with prayer and pledge. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we will have roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave,
Present.
Mr. Foreman,
Present.
Mr. Hamilton,
Present.
Mr. Hankinson,
Present.
Mr. Keller,
Present.
Ms. McCreary. Present.
All right. And we have a quorum, so we will go on to approval of the minutes.
Mayor, if I can interject.
Yeah.
something here. Rick's absentee.
He is on Zoom.
Okay, so Rick, you can participate in the meeting, discussion wise and that sort of thing, but you can't vote on anything absentee wise.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. So present via Zoom, I'm not really present.
well, yeah, I mean, you are, you can participate as far as discussions go and that sort of thing, but you can't vote absentee wise. You got to be here in person to vote.
Is that,
Okay, well, I'm out of state, so I can't be there in person. So,
I understand.
and that's
okay.
because the COVID exemption law expired?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
okay, I was unaware.
Yeah, if that were still in effect, then you could vote. Everybody else could remotely too, but you can't any longer. So.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Just to clarify, Rick made the motion to, I think, to accept the minutes in service. Any problem with that? Yeah, I mean, accepting the minutes, there was no changes or anything on them.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
So, yeah, yeah,
I was gonna ask.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's okay, but legislation could be an issue.
it would be an issue.
It would be, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Or any other motions during during council. meetings.
during council, okay. Thank you for the clarification. All right, then we will move on to approval of the minutes from September 13th.
I'll move that we accept the minutes as emailed out.
All right,
Hankerson.
second discussion on the minutes. Not roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave,
Yes.
excuse me, Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mr. Hankinson,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Yes.
Ms. McCreary. Yes.
All right. Minutes will be approved as written. Moving on to the agenda, I believe first reading 2021-27 is on there. The agenda does not identify the sponsor. Mr. Hankinson is the one that made that motion out of safety. I don't know that that's a necessarily amendment we need to have for this. So is there a motion to approve the agenda since the ordinance is on there?
I'll move that we accept approve the agenda, and if you want to, I'll amend it with Bob Hankerson sponsoring 2021-27.
All right. Second,
I'll second that, McCreary.
discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mr. Hankinson,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Yes.
Ms. McCreary. Yes.
All right. Moving on to visitors, none online. So, and I didn't get emails, so we will move on to village administration reports. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I am meeting with
Councilman Ryan, who is out of the Cleveland area. He is a U.S. Senate candidate that's going to be in the area on October 7th. So I'm going to meet with him to discuss infrastructure. I don't know if, as I said in other meetings, if anybody running for any of the various open congressional seats or Senate seats, I am always happy to talk with them about our infrastructure issues. Mr. Ryan's campaign so far is the only one that's reached out to me, but I anticipate as we get a little closer to the election here and stuff like that, I might hear from some others. So if they reach out, I will talk with them, but he's on October 7th. The other thing I wanted to mention is when I came in today, I looked in my mailbox and I was like, man, Terry, I was hoping we would get our certification for our census. And she goes, oh, it's right here. So in 2010, our census was 2,966. And our state of Ohio proclamation for the 2020 census is 2,981. So that would be an increase of what, 15 people?
Lower
Yeah.
than I thought it would be.
It is lower than I thought it would be. Terry and I have some questions about that because, I mean, there's been, what, 7, 8, 9 new homes built in the last couple years. We haven't lost that many, but maybe there were unoccupied structures. What is not available to us at the time right now because of COVID is the breakdown numbers that I want and that I know we all want, which is how many owner occupied versus rentals, age, and all of that stuff. Those data on the census website says should be up around Thanksgiving. So once that gets posted, we'll have more information onto what that number means. But as for now, we remain just below 3,000. So
2020, you said?
Yeah, our 2020 census.
And the significance of that is those numbers that are supplied by the census are what all grants are looked at.
So we shall see. And I think the census, I'll be interested to see if they put out, because obviously the goal is to count everyone, but in 2020, they did not send people door to door, which is how they assure compliance. So I'm wondering if they'll put out a margin of error projected non-compliance to pad those numbers a little bit. But for right now, that's our proclamation for our numbers for going forward. So with that, any questions? If not, I'll turn it over to Terry.
I just have a couple of things. First of all, we have a postcard from the Baltimore Festival Company, people who said thank you for everything that we did. Sorry, it's a little late. It was in the bottom of my mailbox and I didn't get it. Yeah, I couldn't see it. So I thought this was a nice gesture that they took the time to do it. I have been invited to sit on a couple of sessions where they're calling them community summits. The Fairfield County Community Strategic Planning Summit. What this is the commissioners are getting certain stakeholders into a room. We're going to talk about vision, what we see in the vision. They do have a lot of ARP money that they will be getting in 2023 to see if there is a 3-year plan where we could use that to the benefit of everyone in the county. There are 2 sessions. I'm going to attend the September 30th session. And I'll report back to you, or more to come after the October 7th session. The other thing is that, you know, every year I go to the ICMA conference, which is a conference for all middle managers and administrators. Well, this year it's in Seattle, Portland. Not going. We're doing it virtual. So my intent or my plan was to attend the conference virtually and to work from home next week. But with Brian out, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to try. There are a lot of sessions where I really do have to focus during the session. And if I'm here, it sometimes it's a little rough for me to focus. So because I like to attend to everybody's needs. this way I'll just get a bunch of emails and calls, and I'll be able to reply to those. So again, that is next week, and we'll see how it goes. My team is very capable of running the village. That's not my issue. I just don't want them to get overwhelmed. So that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
All right. Brian, you got anything for us?
No, not really.
All right. All right.
I hope to have, when I get back, I hope to have my finance, a pool report. How's that? I haven't had a time to look at tabulate how much revenues we got this year. I've seen it. I know we're above 2 years ago, but I should be able to give finance and council an update on the pool at the next meeting.
All right, cool.
Just one new piece of legislation, and that's already been discussed. It's been in committee, ordinance 2021-27, which is an ordinance to rescind ordinance 2014-32, which amended the traffic control map to convert a portion of Canal Street to one-way. So by rescinding this, it will return that portion of Canal Street to two-way traffic. So there is no emergency language on that ordinance. 2 ordinances on for second reading, 1 on for a third. That's all I have.
Moving on. Finance Committee, any report?
No report, but our next meeting is October the 11th at 6 p.m. I'm sure it'll be a very busy night with the budget coming up next year and everything else. So
Yeah.
everybody can attend.
All right. Service.
We met tonight. We went over most of the goals that we would put down were accomplished. The ones that we can't accomplish, we'll push to next year, and proposed projects for next year were put out, and it seems like wastewater treatment plants, the one where there's going to have to be some figuring out, because it's kind of big, but other than that, I think we're all on the right track. Our next meeting will be in October 25th, I think, at 6 p.m.
All right. Safety.
Okay, we had a meeting this evening, went through the police department's proposed budget item and talked about the Canal Street, Park National Bank, the area right there, and getting some mirrors and stuff for us and signage. And our next meeting is October 25th after service.
All right. Rules.
We haven't met since last month, sir, and wherever my notes got to, I lost one for the next meeting, so I can't tell you when it is.
October 11th.
Yep, October 11th.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on. Police Department.
Send our proposed budget tonight. The new officers, all but one, are out on the street by themselves now. Well, they're never by themselves, but they're working. We picked up quite a few hours there. We started the Thurston contract. That seems to be going really well. We've tried to pick up traffic enforcement. Basically, it'd be seen more often. We've had a couple different places. We've had complaints. One of them was traffic that is leaving the village on Market as it comes down over the hill by the old Gulf station. So we've been working that during the daylight hours down there for speed control, and the speeds have really dropped off down in that area. So that's been really good for us. Other than that, the 7th of October is our firearms training day. We re-upped with Pickaway County Shooters Club, which is on 22, just outside of Circleville. They charge us $500 to use their range, which is about the going rate everywhere now. The only difference is with them, for the $500, they give every one of our police officers their own membership. So not only can they go over when we qualify, they can go over on their own, practice, do whatever, which has been a big plus for us.
Questions for Chief? All right, Fire Board.
I didn't make the last meeting either. My wife was having a real bad day, so.
All
I
right,
stayed home.
all right.
Sorry.
Nope,
Nope,
no,
fine.
that's absolutely fine. Move on to committees and commissions, planning and zoning. We have our upcoming meeting, should be October 14th. However, because of the number of people involved in the fair, which that is Fair Week, we are moving that to the 21st. And there's a number of items being discussed at this time. I think we hit them all at the last meeting,
And then we'll have a couple of lot splits.
and we may have some lot splits for that meeting. We'll see if that gets in.
Yes.
So that next meeting will be October 21st. Tree Commission.
I don't have anything to report right now. I will begin my process of updating our Tree City USA award. So I'll be getting that around. Once it's done and submitted, I'll share.
Records Commission, same as last time. We'll have a meeting. We've done some destruction and we'll do some more in the future. Motions.
Mayor, was it Service that met and Rick made the motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, just to keep that clean, I would recommend that one of the other committee members make a motion to approve those minutes. Just so the record reflects that it wasn't Rick who did it remotely, so, okay?
Okay.
The more I think about it, the more I think that's a clean story
I'll make the motion.
addressing it, so.
All right, so Cosgray makes a motion to accept the service minutes as written.
And I'll second that.
McCreary seconds. All in favor? All opposed? All right, so the
Thank
service minutes have been through that. Does someone want to, from safety, do a motion for the money we just approved at safety for Terry to spend? Because I don't think it needs ordinance or legislation, but that way council can also give its blessing.
Motion for the administrator to use, was it $884 and or $885,
There you go.
maybe even, to purchase signs and mirrors for traffic control on Boswell Street.
I'd like to second that.
All right. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mr. Hankinson,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Yes,
Ms. McCreary. Yes.
All right, that'll be approved. Any other motions? All right, moving on then to first readings, ordinance 2021-27, an ordinance rescinding ordinance 2014-32, an ordinance amending the traffic control map to convert Canal Street to one-way street running east from High Street to Boswell Street. Sponsor is Hankinson.
Okay. So this is like, so we're rescinding that ordinance, plus we're making the new ordinance make a one-way, correct?
So the ordinance rescinds 2014. 2014 made it one way, so rescinding that will revert Canal Street back to two-way.
Two-way.
And then the rest of the ordinance makes it one-way the other way.
No,
No,
doesn't do that.
Just
As
two-way.
written, it rescinds the earlier ordinance, which converts it back to two-way, period. There's no other amendment.
Okay.
Which one is it?
27, 2021-27.
27. It's a new one.
So after we rescind this, I'm going to have another whole new ordinance.
No, you don't need anything. It would just be, if you want it to be two-way, it's going to become two-way if this ordinance is approved.
My
I
notes,
thought what we talked about is only one way the other way
we
I
talked,
re-
because of the width of the street.
We
we-
did. I reviewed the minutes, but the motion that came out on the minutes was just to do away with, to make it go back to two-way. That is what the minutes were written. If those are incorrect, this is just a first reading, correct, Mr. Jeff?
Correct. There's no
We can
emergency
amend this
language.
ordinance anywhere you wish.
Yeah, my notes have us rescinding the other one as well. We discussed going back one way, the other way, but with the limited amount of traffic and the other traffic control measures, we were going to go back to two-way and then reevaluate. At least that's what my notes have.
Wide enough down there, going down that hill for two ways.
Used to be two-way.
Yeah,
And I believe there was some discussion about clearing out the sides of the road because there's a lot of overgrowth over them.
All right, well,
That
let's
can make
see
it-
what happens for you now and.
we can
next-
reevaluate,
Yeah,
yeah, and then we can change if needed.
I recommend it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, that's just for free then.
All right, so this one will be on for October 11th for second reading. Second reading, ordinance 2021-24. This is an ordinance to amend certain portions of Part 12, the Planning and Zoning Code of the Baltimore Codified Ordinances to provide for maximum lot coverages. Sponsor McCreary.
Yes, Mayor. So this is a proposal. This particular ordinance is focused on the lot coverage. So in our discussion, we decided that we would propose keeping those as they had been previously, which is 30, 35, and then we did change one, the lot, SR
R3.
R3 to 40%, which is a 5% increase.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and this one, because it's a zoning code change, and this will apply to the next ordinance as well, we do have to have a public hearing. I was working on setting one up when Barb got note to me through Terry that the last public hearing in the Opera House was really hard for her to do notes on, and because of the way it was recorded and hearing. So I'm going to talk with Terry and Jeff and try to figure out what we can do with regards to the public hearing and notes, because we want to make sure we have enough space for people to attend, but also need to make sure we preserve that record. So hopefully we will get that set here shortly. If not, then I'd just ask Brandy to table it at the next meeting until we can do that. But that's where we're at on the public hearings for this ordinance and the next one. Any questions on 2021-24? All right, I'll move on to 2021-25, an ordinance to amend certain portions of Part 12, Planning and Zoning Code of the Baltimore Codified Ordinances to provide for the registration of short-term rental properties. Sponsor McCreary.
Yes, sir. So in P&Z, there have been many conversations in regards to short-term rentals. So this particular ordinance focuses on having those short-term rentals register with the village.
All right. Again, public hearing issues. We'll see. Second reading. Any questions on this one? All right. Those two will be on, like I said, for a third reading, October 11th. If by chance we can't get that public hearing and stuff done by then, I'll just ask that those be tabled at this time. But if we get the public hearing in, those will be on for a third reading, October 11th. Moving on to third readings tonight, Resolution 2021-22, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by Fairfield County Budget Commission, authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor and declaration of an emergency. Sponsor is Keller.
Okay, this is the third reading, and this is something we do every year with the county budget. So at time, I move that we adopt resolution 2021-22.
Second.
Cosgrave, second.
All right. Discussion.
I have a question. Brian, are you still there?
Yes,
What's the deadline for you to submit that resolution to the county?
Friday.
Okay. Are you going to be able to stop by and sign off on it then?
I'm going to be able to, yes, I'll come in after hours.
Okay.
I tried to call Josh today, couldn't get a hold of him.
Okay.
County auditor, I'm going to try again tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, as soon as it passes tonight, Brian, I'll sign it. So it'll be here in your box for after hours.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion? Good question, Jeff. All right, roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Hankinson?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Ms. Creary?
Yes.
All right, 2021-22 will be adopted. Moving on, oh, no more third readings. Moving on to old business. Does anybody have any old business? All right, hearing none. Does anybody have any new business?
Yeah, when there a motion made in service, we gotta make a motion tonight. Mock.
Yes,
Ah, that's right.
we could have done that during that too. Good job, Chuck.
I thought we just bypassed, but I thought about bringing it up.
Oh,
All right. So does someone from service want to make that motion?
I guess I'll do that. I'll make a motion that we allow
Line
Mr. Mock
27 on
to
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
proceed with
Duh.
extending North Rome, Romulus. That's was 100 feet or whatever it was, 160 feet.
Oh, you've already signed it. Cool.
So he can coordinate with the village administrator to get that started.
And I'll second that.
So, okay, I apologize. I was talking to the mayor, but what's the motion?
The motion is for Mr. Mock to be, we're authorizes him to start improving, was that North Romulus,
Romulus.
to the standards acceptable to the village and coordinate with the village administrator.
There's more to that. We're gonna buy, no gutters, no sidewalks, storm.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Jeff, this was last week's discussion on Romulus and extending it. Mr. Mock joined service committee, doesn't have a problem paving the road. However, our standards say it has to be 26 feet wide with curbs and gutters, and it's Romulus Street, and it's not 26 feet wide.
Okay.
So service agreed that no curbs, no gutters, and it could be approximately 19 feet wide, which would basically be the same width as Romulus to extend down so that those parcels could be used.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other discussion on that?
Yeah, so the street's gonna be up to standard. You're gonna make sure that's get done,
I'm gonna put Tim in charge with him.
Tim. This won't set a precedent, well,
I hope not.
and who's buying the lot? We have any idea?
I do not know. There are 2 or 3 people that have called on it. And like I said, 2 of them are looking for business for storage. One of them was looking to put a trailer on there to live in, and I told him no. So they will have to, if they are going to do storage units, they will have to go before the planning and zoning and get a variance, because that's not allowable business in the general business district.
Okay,
So there's more things that they still have to do.
yeah, my only question is being 19 feet and being in business, and we don't know what kind of business, what kind of traffic we're gonna be having up and down that 19-foot street.
Well, it's a short distance, number one. Number two, I can't answer that question because I don't know. But then again, that is a piece of the information that can be given to planning and zoning when a variance is requested.
Okay,
I will be on top of it,
okay, that's the main thing.
promise.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, I mean, like a dollar store could go in there without a variance because it's general business.
Yes, retail.
Right.
and then time, then an auto part want to come in town, would that be all right?
It would be
Remember that?
a retail store could go in there without a variance, and we're talking, that limited traffic. If it's something, storage like Terry said, or I think one of the persons wanted it for like a large trailer storage, and that obviously would not be permitted or allowed because of the road width and conditions.
So all of that has to go through planning and zoning. So there's one more step that they have to go through. So just by passing this tonight doesn't mean that we said, yeah, you can do this. We still have, planning and zoning still has
Okay.
their portion to do because they will have to apply for a variance.
And if I can ask a question, is the property owner aware that this is just the first step of numerous steps?
I believe I've made that clear. I think we made
in the
it clear
process?
tonight when he
Okay.
was here.
Because we also talked to him tonight about the fact that there's multiple parcels there, and unless he wants to run the road to the railroad tracks, all of those parcels will have to be combined
Okay.
because they have to have a road frontage.
And my recollection is, I know this came up at the last council meeting, my recollection is the railroad was not receptive in any fashion a number of years ago to dedicating a portion of their property to the village so it could be used as a public roadway. So-
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion? All right, roll call.
Mr. Cosgrave,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
No.
Mr. Hankinson,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Yes.
Ms. McCreary.
Yes.
All right, 4-1, motion passes. Any other new business? Any visitors online? Nope. Any last call? If not, our next meeting will be the second Monday in October, October 11th, which is at 7:30. After all those meetings, that is also the first Monday of Fair Week, just FYI.
Are we still meeting?
Well, yeah,
Oh,
Unless you're showing animals in the fair.
yeah, no, I don't have any rabbits. I have a couple of ducks.
Oh, man, there was my kangaroo.
yep.
Darn.
If not, I might have just set a record with both Terry and Jeff present. We will have a motion to adjourn at 8:09.
My goodness.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none in opposition, we will adjourn at 8:09.
Great.
Chuck, thanks.
Might have been a record.
What planet am I on?
I know.
I tell you, we're efficient. We're efficient.
Golly.